Hey traders, Bob with CurrencyWaves.com, and now the new relative strength index site that I'm working on. I'm working on it for a couple weeks. Really what I'm going to do with this video is we're going to look at the RSI continuation signals here in a minute, but I just kind of wanted to go through the site real quick. You can find us at relative strength index.blogspot.com or relative strength index.com. So either one of those will get you to the site. My intentions down the road are to discuss the relative strength index and what I think will happen with price action according to the index. As you can see here, I was talking about a rising channel. This one was talking about the resistance at 66.50 and how every time it gets there it pulls back, and of course there is also a rising channel in this chart for the RSI. I got some free real-time charts on that tab. It's been shared quite a bit already for one day. The site's been up. And you can do Euro, US dollar, you can do Google, whatever you want. Then you got different time frames, different indicators, chart settings. Obviously, and you can do some comparison to it here. Obviously, I have the indicator on the RSI since this site is about the RSI. Got some quotes over here. RSI videos, this one will be here, but there'll be more than just my own videos. If I see some good RSI videos on YouTube or something, I will post them. I already got a couple in mind I want to throw on here that I haven't got up yet. And of course, this is the RSI continuation signals we're going to talk about. Then I'll have one for divergence, support and resistance, and channels, triangles, RSI chart patterns, basically. So anyway, I do have a chart below here with some samples on it for you to look at, and then of course this video will be posted down there as well. And of course, if you find this information useful, please feel free to share using the sharing buttons to the left or at the bottom of the page. Okay, it really helps me out when you guys share my stuff. Of course, you can follow us. This is the same following stuff that you'll see at Currency Waves. The relative strength index can give us many different signals or clues as to what price may be doing in the future. The most common signal that everybody looks for is divergence at the highs and the lows. We will discuss these signals and teach you how to trade the Forex with these signals in another section of this site. So that will probably go up next after I do the negative continuation signals. A positive continuation happens when an FX pair is trending higher and has a pullback or consolidation. If the pullback in price stays above the previous price pullback, but the relative strength index makes a lower low below its previous pullback low, then we have a possible positive continuation signal in the works. So if we look at this first chart, we had a double bottom here, or a little bit of divergence between these two to get this little trade going. But the price went up, RSI went up, we had a little pullback here, held this little pullback, but the RSI didn't. So this gives us a positive reversal signal. So the way I would trade this is a buy stop above this high, stop below maybe this low, and then of course if it's good, you'll hit your buy stop and continue higher. Example 2 here. We had basically the same thing. We had moved higher. We had a pullback, held this last low. Here you go. The RSI did not hold its last swing low back here. Price breaks above the high. Away we go. The third one here is more of a consolidation signal. Right, we have basically a double bottom here. RSI made some lower low, and then of course we have another low here on the RSI where price actually held these two. So you could actually go with a buy stop here instead of way up here. Go here with a stop below here, and off we go. There is another one in here, and I talk about it here on this website. And here's, where I talk about examples 1, 2, 3. Then I have a 3.5. This is actually one of them. I had mentioned up here in the chart below, I have marked 5 of the positive continuation signals. There are actually 7 that I see looking at the chart. After studying the 5 I've marked, you can test your eyes and see if you can spot the other 2 that I did not mark. Well, this is one of them I did not see when I made the chart up, but there's actually still 2 more over here. But here in this one here, we broke this high, pulled back, held the previous low, so then we have a lower RSI, higher price, breaks the high. One thing I note, one thing to point out here is that these signals tell us that we can expect new closing highs. What it does not tell us is how much higher price is going to go, and that we need to use other tools to figure out how high it's going to go. So all this is really telling us on these positive reversals is that it's going to break a new high, or it should. I shouldn't say it will, let's say it should. Now, this is something I'll do in another video. I want to put up more examples on how to trade this, but we can obviously see here we have a higher high, higher high, higher high in price, lower highs in the RSI, so we've got some serious divergence going on here. And along with that, we also have a failed positive reversal signal. If you go from here to here, higher price on this pullback, lower RSI, but then price did not break, nor did the RSI break the new high. Also, another thing to point out back here on this 3.5 that I was talking about, this RSI positive reversal signal actually broke the low of wave 1. So there's 3 signals I talked about, warning signs of a top. Warning 1 is the divergence that we already talked about. The lows and relative strength in this made in example 3.5 took out the lowest of the positive continuation signal made in 1. And then if you look at the price lows made between June 6th and June 11th, and the relative strength index lows made at the same time, and compare them to the lows made at June 13th and 18th, you can make a case for a positive continuation signal. The problem is it failed. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here, is the June 16th or 13th to the 18th here, where this one failed. So good time to start a short there on the break of this low. Going over to 4 and 5. This one, you know, I like it when they're close together in time. This is getting a little too far apart for me. The only reason I marked it is because it is a signal, but there's also a nice divergence going on here. And once price breaks this high, away it goes. And a couple of the other ones I didn't point out that I will anyway is here there's this pullback with this pullback. Okay, and then you got a lower RSI, bounces right off the 50, makes a new high. Not much, but it did make a new high. Then of course, same thing, you got some serious divergence here between these closing highs and the RSI. Excuse me, the other one that I missed was right here. You got this pullback here with this pullback held this low. This did not, and it spiked up again. Of course, then you have this one right off the 50 again, and away it went. And that's something I wanted to mention too about this one here. When I say this one, we're below the 50 when this one happens. We're above the 50 here, we're above the 50 here, we're above the 50 here, we're above the 50 here. On this one, we're below the 50. This one is actually the only time I would probably take a trade out of the 30, from below the 30, or move out of the 30 is, you know, yeah, it was a long time apart. There was a lot of time between these two. But with this divergence confirming this, that was a good trade. So, all right, hope that helps. Like I say, if it helps, share it. Thank you very much.